bears. We know them, we love them. Most of them. Say, for example, Winnie the Pooh. We all know Winnie the Pooh. Who doesn't? He's a lovable little golden bear in a red shirt. But what you don't know about Winnie the Pooh is that he could probably beat you in a fight. And this is what my thought process was going into making a new video. I thought, hey, I should do like comparing two characters to see who would win in a fight. And then Winnie the Pooh just struck me in the face. And I thought it would have been like really fun to see how strong Winnie the Pooh was actually. And I was gonna originally do like Winnie the Pooh versus Paddington until I came into a very bad realization. Paddington is very weak and has nothing on versus wiki, which is what I was gonna use because I ain't researching that myself, heck no. But like Paddington literally had nothing, but Winnie the Pooh had something, and something was enough until anywho, I was struck with a beautiful vision whenever I saw another versus wiki page, Freddy Fazbear. And now I am curious on who would win in a fight between Winnie the Pooh and Freddy Fazbear from the Five Nights at Freddy's game series. I'm gonna start with the Winnie the Pooh segment, then move on to Freddy Fazbear, then going to my final thoughts on who would win in the fight. Winnie the Pooh is a lovable bear, also known as just Pooh Bear or just Pooh. He's the protagonist of Disney's animated franchise with the same name, but he originated from a book. In case anyone actually still reads who's watching this. He is addicted to honey and he has quote-unquote very little brain, but he resides in the 100-acre wood in an imaginative world inhabited by anthropomorphic stuffed toys and animals that Christopher Robin frequents. And he is a really special bear. In terms of powers and abilities, Versus Wiki gives him superhuman physical characteristics, ignorant sociology, and small size, which I guess is a power if in some cases, immortality, tune force, fourth wall awareness, and text manipulation, and apparently limited flight if he uses balloons. Sounds interesting to me, not sure about you. His attack potency is city block level, which is compared to characters who can harm/damage him and Rabbit, who send him flying across long distances almost out of the book and straight into a honey tree. Which, I mean, sounds impressive. And his speed is subsonic. He can run fast enough to appear as a blur alongside others when they saw Piglet and thought he was a ghost. And apparently he's also comparable to Tigger, who ran away to swing far away from it in second. What? I have no idea what I just read. Just Tigger's fast too. Take that. His lifting strength is athletic human, because again, comparing him to Tigger, apparently Tigger was strong enough to lift Eeyore and push a big rock. And his striking strength is city block level with no explanation. Durability, also city block level, comparable to Rabbit, who survived an explosion which destroyed his fortress and left a big crater at this level. Which I didn't know Winnie the Pooh got like that hardcore, but you know, you learn something new every day. Now, I think the biggest deal here is whether or not Winnie the Pooh even would fight someone. You know, he's a nice little bear. I don't think he'd want to fight anyone. He obviously wouldn't be the one starting the fight. Which then transfers me to the next bear in our little bear off here. Freddy Fazbear, who is an animatronic and one of the many antagonists in the franchise Five Nights at Freddy's, as well as being featured in both the first and second games as basically the main character. He's a brown bear with a lighter shade of brown on both his stomach and his muzzle. He stalks the player in the first game during night 3 and by moving while the player is not watching the monitor or the cameras. In terms of powers and abilities, Freddy Fazbear has been given superhuman physical characteristics, self-sustenance, immortality, and inorganic physiology, as well as stealth mastery and berserk mode, which I'm gonna have to do a little more digging on that to find out what that means. His attack potency is street level because he's capable of shoving a full-grown man into an animatronic suit with such force that crushes his skull. Which I guess that is powerful. Speed is superhuman, not subsonic. Lifting strength is peak human. Striking strength is street level. Durability is street level. Stamina, superhuman. Range, standard melee. Standard equipment, nothing. Intelligence, average. Now you might think he doesn't sound as powerful as Winnie the Pooh might, but then you have to think about how his powers and abilities fall into this, because like there's more to a fight than just who can hit the hardest. Tactics are involved too. They're both apparently immortal, so no one's gonna be dying, so they can hit each other as hard as possible. Which, I mean, I guess I can see Freddy Fazbear being immortal, but I would have never guessed Winnie was. Now, with both those considered, I'd like to go into how I think a fight would go down between them. I have no idea how it would start. I do not think that Winnie would go anywhere near like any pizzeria probably, but especially not specifically that one. But if they were to just like be put together for some reason, I feel like Freddy Fazbear would start the fight and Winnie the Pooh would just be confused. I'm not sure if this would go down as like an actual fight or if like he'd just be stalking him and trying to like jump him or something while Winnie the Pooh just like barely escapes. Which, I mean, he couldn't die, so it wouldn't affect him that much. And now Winnie the Pooh's city block level strength compared to just Freddy's street level strength would probably be important. But again, the powers and skills, they can be used too. But even including those, I'm pretty sure Winnie the Pooh just like beats him. Freddy isn't fast enough to catch up with him. He's only at let me see, he's only at superhuman speed, while Winnie the Pooh is at subsonic. So he's obviously has the speed advantage, so you can see him coming and he can deal way more damage. And it takes way less damage to hurt Freddy than it does to hurt Winnie. So I think Winnie would be able to just like evade every attack he sends his way, and then if he tries to defend himself, he'd knock him out, I'd assume. He'd be able to like destroy his little robo body in like 1, maybe 2 punches. That's really the only way I can see this going. I honestly didn't think Winnie the Pooh would be able to be that like powerful or be able to beat anyone in a fight, but I really can't see Freddy Fazbear getting the leg up on him. He's like, I mean, it makes sense. Winnie the Pooh, he is a cartoon character, and Toon Force is, well, overpowered in every way imaginable. But at the end of the day, both Freddy and Winnie would be able to beat up Paddington in a fight, and that's like all that matters. Because Paddington's British. And at the end of the day, I think we can all agree we have one common enemy, and that is the Brits. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you for watching. This is my second video I've put actual effort into after a month of doing nothing, because I didn't know what else to do. I was thinking, and then this just popped into my mind, like, who'd win a fight? Which I originally had in mind to go over the at one of every Pokemon versus a billion lions, but then I realized that's been done to death and everyone already knows the Pokemon would win, so it wouldn't be as entertaining. And then I realized I think Winnie the Pooh would be cool in a fight, and then that just led me here, and I think that's cool. I'm gonna try and do more like this. Hopefully it doesn't take a month in between again, but you know, I can't really control that. I also need to work on things like just editing, recording, get a new, better mic probably, and also work on my YouTuber voice, because I imagine this voice isn't really entertaining. I need to like boost it a bit, you know, make it a bit more entertaining to listen to, make it like fun. Anywho, see you next time whenever Super Mario faces Wonder Woman or something. I don't know. Mario would probably win, actually. I should research that. That actually doesn't sound bad.